Maki turns this dude into Bellamy at the end of this chapter, okay? I'm gonna get back to that, but Jesus Christ. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We're climbing faster than I thought I would at the beginning of this little journey I'm on, and it means a ton, so yes. Do me a favor, help me out. And with that being said, we got to get into it. This chapter was absolutely 100% a hype fest. Like that's all this chapter was straight up hype fest from beginning to end. There's a little bit of stuff for us to pick up on here, but it's mainly Maki and Naoya just going at it. 100% fun time of the last. I had an amazing time. Getting into it, we do get this little bit where Naoya is a child and he heard about Toji and the fact that he's a failure with no curse technique, no nothing. And he's like, I'm gonna go see what this dude looks like what such a failure looks like. It must have such a miserable face. And when he sees him, you can imagine little tiny Naoya just stopped in his tracks, just staring up at this menacing man named Toji Zenin. Dude looked terrifying in that picture, that's all I'm gonna say. But cutting back to the present where we have Naoya and Maki fighting, they're looking like some 1,000-armed Buddha statues, like they're just going to town. But Naoya does actually catch Maki with his projection sorcery and locks her in that little frame thing. And I gotta say, starting right here, for most of this chapter, it looks like Naoya really does have the upper hand. He's kind of going to town. Naoya is by far and away the strongest member of that Hate Squad. Naoya would smack Junichi. If Junichi got off-screen decapitated, and this is what we get from Naoya, by far and away stronger than Junichi. 100%. But with this being said, even though Naoya knocked Mai all the way across the compound, I mean, he like slammed her and she went flying, slamming into the ground and everything. With that being said, Maki doesn't really seem to care for the majority of the chapter. All Maki's doing this entire time is counting when Naoya hits her, when she's blocking, when she's doing any of this. All she's doing is counting, analyzing the projection sorcery, trying to figure it out, using this enhanced body she has now to try and figure out what exactly is going on with this sorcery and Naoya and all this stuff and the way he's fighting. She doesn't really seem to care for the most part. So another thing Naoya tries to do a lot in this chapter is constantly tell Maki that she's not strong. You're not Toji-kun. You're not like Satoru. You're not like them. You're a fake. You're this, you're that. We get this little bit of what I'm assuming is monologue, and I'm assuming this is coming from Naoya's mind or whatever. But it says, a small fry's biggest sin is not knowing what true strength is. So maybe that's why nobody could understand Toji, except maybe Satoru. And yes, this is very true. Satoru and Toji are, if you ask me, the two strongest people we have actively seen fight in the series. Maybe like Kenjaku could stand up there, but he wasn't really around back then. It was still Geto back then, and you know what I'm saying. Satoru was stronger than Geto. Toji about killed Gojo. So yeah, they are kind of the pinnacle of strength that we've seen so far compete in a one-to-one fight in this series. And we continue with Naoya just continuing to grab Maki, slamming her around, throwing her around, blitzing around her, going as fast as he can. And we get a little break in the action again that says, the one who will stand at the top as the strongest. And we have a picture of Satoru and Toji standing there on both sides as basically the gates to being the strongest. And we cut back to Naoya saying that that's gonna be him. So throughout this chapter, I get the hint that Naoya has a little bit of an inferiority complex when it comes to people like Toji, people like Gojo, even somebody like his father Naobito. Naobito had the exact same projection sorcery as Naoya does, but he was able to become head of the clan. Yet instead of giving it to Naoya after him, they gave it to Megumi. Naoya seems to be very obsessed with being the strongest, not having this inferiority complex. Which to me, it also seems kind of funny because with Maki being as strong as she is now, it really seems like Naoya, the person with the projection sorcery technique, is kind of projecting his own inferiorities onto Maki. So I really enjoyed that little bit of this and how I kind of picked up on that, because it really does seem like that. He really seems like he's projecting everything he's feeling onto Maki. He feels insignificant compared to somebody like Toji and Satoru. He feels inferior because he hasn't been able to become the head of the clan like Nobito did, even though they had the same exact technique. I feel like all of this stuff has weighed on Naoya a lot more than we thought it has. Not that I care, screw Naoya, we're gonna... Oh, I can't even hold it in. I can't even hold it in what Maki did to this. Maki turns this dude into Bellamy at the end of this chapter, okay? I'm gonna get back to that, but Jesus Christ. She turned this dude into Bellamy from One Piece, alright? If you know Bellamy, One Piece, pre-time skip, yeah, he was post-time skip too, but pre-time skip, you know what happened? Yeah. Dude, it's too good. I laughed so hard when I saw that. That was my initial reaction, was she turned this dude into Bellamy. But I'm rambling. We got to keep going. So Naoya ends up striking Maki right around her bad eye, and she's actually starting to bleed. And we get a little more information on the projection sorcery. Stuff we already knew about how you can't excessively break the laws of physics. But it does tell us that if you continually stack the speed, you can kind of negate some of the drawbacks from it. And we have Naoya thinking to himself that he's not going to stop. He's not going to fail like last time. Power is mass and speed. If I stack the speed, I can win this. And we see him get a second slap on Maki. Remember, him touching you with his palm is what allows him to activate that technique. The first time this chapter when he activated, he absolutely slammed her across the entire compound, and she had to do like the Dracula, like stand up out of the coffin shit. Which was awesome. I completely didn't even mention that. That was cool as hell. But yeah, so we expect Maki to freeze up, right? Nope. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, not gonna happen. My name's Maki Zenin. Hi, how you doing? So yes, we figure out why Maki was counting this chapter. It's because nobody has told her the ins and outs of the projection technique. She was figuring it out on the fly, counting out how many frames their movements were split into, because she can see it now. She told Naoya at the end, she goes, it's 24 times, isn't it? She goes, I knew you and Nobito weren't just extremely fast. I could tell there was always something off. But now, I can see it. This woman, this goddess of a human being named Maki Zenin, straight just stared at the dude while he was using his technique. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 24. Alright, I got it. Let me make sure. Take it one more time. Bam! Alright. 24. Yes, 24 twice in a row. It's gotta be 24. I know it. Like, bro, she just picked this dude apart in this fight. Oh my god. So yeah, she tells him it's 24 times, right? With this body, I can finally see. And like I said, straight turns this dude into Bellamy. He was bouncing all around her, being too quick. We need one shot. Come in. Come here, bud. One shot. Right at me. Let's go. Took this dude down. Right at the end, as soon as she smashes him in the face, he tries to call her a fake one more time. Like I said, we're projecting a little bit. The projection sorcerer is projecting his inadequacies. Maki proved at the end of this chapter that Naoya is a fake Nobito, and that she is not a fake Toji. I loved it. It was incredible. This was awesome. Straight up. She turned... Oh, dude. Okay, I gotta say it again. Maki turned this dude into Bellamy from One Piece. 10 out of 10 chapter. Let's go. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, there's not a ton to explain. This was really just a hype fest. But I did really want to talk about that whole Naoya projecting his feelings onto Maki. The fact that he has the projection curse technique. It actually is extremely, extremely fitting for him to project his feelings onto her. I loved that. I didn't even catch it the first time reading through. As I was going back through, I noticed, man, he's really projecting a lot, isn't he? So yeah, that was awesome. The fact that he wanted to be the strongest and Maki is now on the one that is on the road to where she could possibly end up like that. Not saying Maki's going to be the strongest by the end of the series, but she's on that road where she could take to beat Toji. Just like now you would want to take the road to be Satoru, considering he, has a curse technique. That was awesome. Loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like I said, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out. It means a ton. And I'll see you guys next time. We got One Piece coming up next.